respect is that Russia will not allow to Iran to take over Syria in that way or another, and will not allow to Iran to armament Hezbollah and all the terror organizations that are on the border with Israel. Regarding the Palestinians, our view, we are against Palestinian state. We think that in Gaza there was one experiment in which we evacuate all the settlements in Gaza, and actually as a return we got only terror missiles all over Israel, tunnels to the villages near the borders, and we don't want to do this experiment again in Judea and Samaria. I think also that it is not realistic. The gaps between the Palestinian and even between those who want to have a two-state solution, the gap is much too high, and if we are realistic, we cannot bridge on this gap. This is why I think we need just to manage the conflict and not to target to have a deal. I think that Russia in general, play with Israel and with the Palestinians. They have a very close relationship to the Arab world, and now they have a very close relationship to Israel. And what I like in Russia is that they not force their view on either of the side. They want to give, the two sides to see what they can, if they can talk and about what. And I think that so far I respect this view.
In this case, there was not long ago, I think a couple of weeks ago, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, they just put a statement, which was the first time in history that Russia said that West Jerusalem could be the capital of Israel, and say that before Russia was saying that the East Jerusalem should be the capital of the independent Palestine state, and the Israeli part was known as only Tel Aviv and nothing else. There was nothing said about the West Jerusalem. But it's first time in writing, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia put it. But as far as I understood from what he was saying, even this idea that even the mentioning of West Jerusalem as the capital is not for you the solution of the problem. It's maybe even creates another problem. So what do you think? What does it mean, this move for you, for Israel?
I need to ask you if you are willing to divide Moscow. I think that the answer is not, and we are not willing to divide Jerusalem. Jerusalem is unified. The fact that a state like Russia talking about Jerusalem as a capital is a progress, because so far we set our capital. Our capital is the unified Jerusalem, but unfortunately, the embassies of all the countries are not in Jerusalem. They are in Tel Aviv, because they are saying that until you will find a solution, the embassies will be in Tel Aviv. So of course, we will be very happy if countries will start and move their embassies to West Jerusalem. President Trump talked about it before the election. And we were very pleased and hope that the United States will be the first who will move the embassy to West Jerusalem. I think if Russia can do it, of course, we will be very happy. But they, of course, told about two embassies, one in West Jerusalem and one in East Jerusalem. Actually, my office, the Minister of Justice office, is in East Jerusalem, sorry. The district court is in East Jerusalem, near my office. And our view, of course, that we have one Jerusalem.
Okay, so not long ago, the Israeli government took the decision, which got furious many of European Union and the US more about the Amona. That the government decided that it gave the authority to build another settlement in the West Bank. It was the first decision in 20 years that the government made official approval, let's say, of this building. And so you really want to continue the settlement, what's the party position, what's your position toward it? And if you for it, my next question is, so you can't help that Palestinians still live there, so where shall they continue living if you will continue build another settlements?
There is one thing that we definitely need to learn from Russia is that we need to take care of our own interests. In Judea and Samaria, what's called the West Bank, there are only 9% of the territories are populated. Only 9%. So there is enough place to both the Israelis and the Palestinians to build. Now, according to the Oslo Agreement, the area was divided to three different areas: Area A, Area B, and Area C. In Area A and B, the Palestinian Authority ruled. In Area C, it's under Israeli ruling. In Area C, all the Jewish settlements are in Area C. There are almost 500,000 Jews there and 90,000 Arabs there. Our view is that Israel should annex Area C, of course, give full citizenship to the Arabs that are living there. And as I said, there is enough territory to build to both. In Area A and B, the Palestinians can do whatever they want even today. They are building and growing. And if you ask me what will be the solution in the future, if we're not talking about a two-state solution, so definitely, as I say, Area C should be part of Israel, and Area A and B can be one of a confederation, a regional solution. As I said, there is already one state in Gaza. It's a Palestinian state. They can do a confederation with Gaza. In Jordan, there are 70% Palestinians. I don't know if you know that, but the majority of the population of Jordan are Palestinians. And so I think that not only Israel needs to deal with the Palestinian issue, but also Jordan and Egypt, and it should be a regional solution.
Closing, let's say, my part of questions and giving the audience, I will ask you my last question. We were in this January in the INSS conference, and I've heard your speech. And what you said a lot of interesting things, but one of the things that took my attention was that you said that there is a time for Israel to lead, but not to be led. What do you mean by it?
This is exactly what I mean. Like Amona is a good case for that. We had, because of the Supreme Court order, to evacuate a whole village with 40 families. 200 children, and by meaning that we need to lead and not to be led is saying that, okay, so if we want to build another village instead on the land of the state, we can do it. We don't need just to ask approval for every step that we are doing, and to set what is our interest and to follow those interests. Of course, Israel is not an empire. We need to talk with the US, we need to talk with Russia, we need to talk with the European Union, but we need to set first what is our interest. I think the deal with Iran was a good example for that, because Obama went to sign a deal with Iran. We knew this deal will lead to an atomic bomb in 10 years, and we thought it's very dangerous for Israel. Because, you know, we saw from the history that when there was a regime who threat to ruin the Jewish people, usually they did it or tried to did it. And when Ahmadinejad or the leaders in Iran, Rouhani is doing a different strategy, but when they are talking about demolish Israel, we think that they are serious and we need to do anything in order to prevent them to have an atomic bomb. So when we thought that the deal with Iran is bad, we said that. We said it loud and clear. Even the interest of all the other countries was different.
Mm-hmm. So let's give you a chance to ask questions, please. Okay.
If you can just say where are we from?
I'm originally from Moscow, but now I'm living in Haifa. So I have a question. So you mentioned, first of all, thank you very much for coming here. You mentioned quickly the primaries, and I have the following question. Before the election in 2015, I read a couple of interviews with Ayelet Haskia. She's a Muslim Arab woman from Akko. She's a Zionist. She's a member of your party. Her daughter became the first female soldiers to serve in IDF, first Muslim female to serve in IDF. And in these interviews, she presented her program how to strengthen the presence of Arab Muslim Zionists in Israel, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, she didn't gain enough votes, and she wasn't even nominated. There was place number 6 in your list, which was like wild card, and she wasn't nominated. My question is, would you agree that it's quite sad that the Arab sector in Israel is represented only by either convinced terrorist supporters like Gattas or open Hezbollah supporters like Ayman Udeh? Would you agree that it's sad that young Arabs of our country don't, as a role models, have only these people? And would you agree that the presence of Muslim Arab Zionists in Knesset would be good both for internal purposes and for the purposes of Hasbara? And if you agree with all these, what you are planning to do as one of the leading figures in Chabad Yehudi and is a justice minister, would you give more chance to people like Ayelet Haskia or maybe Father Gabriel Nadaf or maybe other people who are maybe not as famous, so that in the next Knesset we have see at least one Muslim Arab Zionist? Thank you.
It's a very important question. I truly believe that the society in Israel can coexist with the Israeli Arabs. As a Minister of Justice, I'm doing many steps in order to, we say, hug and to promote the Israeli Arabs. I'll give you 2 examples. When I entered the office, I found out that there is no any court in an Arab city. So we are now building a court in Taipei, an Arab city. Next week, I'm going to do a history in Israel and select the first Arab woman to be a Qadi. Qadi is a judge in the religious court, in the Sharia court of Israel. So far there are only men, and now I'm going to select the first women. I truly believe that Ayelet Haskia, for example, is not alone, and there is many more Arabs who are Zionist Arabs, and you are absolutely right that unfortunately they don't have a representative in the Knesset, and I think I want that Ayelet Haskia will win, but she didn't. But I think it will be a great thing for Israel and for the Arab society if someone like Ayelet will be representative in the Knesset. By the way, you know that the Arab list today is not homogenic, it's very different. You know, Balad is not like Ram, Tala, and Hadash. There are differences in this list. You are not aware of that, but I am aware of that very well. Balad, for example, should not be a member in the Knesset. I hope that they will not get approval for the next election to be part of the Knesset. And definitely, you are right, one of our goals is to strengthen the Arab Zionist power, and actually I truly believe in it.
Okay.
What's your personal...
Now present yourself.
My name is Dmitry from Israel. I wanted to ask about the Nissan Slomlyansky story. What's your personal opinion? And do you think the Bayit Yehudi handled it in the right way?
What was the second question?
אם הבית היהודי עשה את זה בצורה הנכונה, טיפל בסיפור בצורה נכונה.
The story with Nissan Slomlyansky is not over yet. The police start to investigate it, and let's wait to see what they decide and what the Attorney General will decide. So I think it's too early to discuss on it. In general, I can tell you that I don't like to לחרוץ גורל של אדם. I don't like to prejudge a person without having the evidence. You know, it is now a fashion in Israel, just according to post in Facebook, to ring a person, so I'm not there. Let's wait to see the facts.
Okay, think about your questions. I'll ask you one question. I didn't think about it before, but now I think maybe it will be interesting. You know, you know for sure, but people that the current Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, which leads to the coalition that you're in, is a difficult time. You're Minister of Justice. So how come? You know about the corruption investigation. It's difficult.
I will answer the same. I will have the same answer for that. Now the Prime Minister is being investigated, and let's wait and see the results. I think that again we should wait and see the facts and the results, and not to set decisions or before we are knowing everything, and before there is indictment. We don't know if there will be indictment or there will not be indictment. Let's wait and see. Actually, here in Russia, I told the press that in Israel, a prime minister went to jail because it took less than 1 million ruble.
Yeah. Here's fine.
Okay, it's nothing almost. Other questions, maybe? Yeah.
Hello, my name is Artem, I'm from Moscow, and here's my question. Well, how does Ayelet work with social media and with youth? Because now the young generation doesn't watch TV, they use Facebook, YouTube, etc. And how does your party want to attract these people?
So both Bennett and I are working very hard in the Facebook, in the Twitter. Are you a friend of mine? In the Facebook?
I don't
because you don't know it, right? You're that. Okay, Bennett has also a page in Russia. I think that if you can just be a friend of him. So definitely we know that the youth is in the social media and in the internet, and we are working a lot with Facebook, Twitter. Actually, I was just now, someone gave me an advice to join Snapchat as well. Yes, we are working on them. In the last 2 years, also the Prime Minister entered to this field. And the Bayit Yehudi, I think that all the Knesset members of the Bayit Yehudi are very aware of that, and we have a lot of youth in our party, a strong youth, and definitely we believe in the young people. You're the future.
We have some time. Some other questions, maybe? Oh, yeah, please.
Hello, welcome to Russia. It's your first time, and thank you for your lecture. My question is, you said that...
Where are you from, Israel?
From Moscow.
Moscow?
Yes. Since you said that two-state solution is not longer in the picture, and that you have your vision, and your party has a vision to do some specific steps for the development or the management of the case, what is your vision? Will these steps be like one-sided? I mean, it's your initiative and you're leading and you're doing your steps, or you have some idea that on the other side of the conflict there is someone who you can negotiate with, who you can do like some compromising and things like that, or is it just going forward on your own side?
Okay, so what I said is just the goal. You know that in the 80s, people from Israel, like, I don't know if you know him, maybe Nathan, talked with Arafat and talked about the two-state solution, and he went to jail. Because back then it was something very, it was not allowed, and it was unpopular. So maybe today, you know, this idea of annexing Area C and confederation with Area A and B is not realistic, but it's something that we need to put on the table and to talk for long term. What we do need to do now is to encourage economic development in the areas of the Palestinian Authority. I think we can, if the international community will help, I think that there are many other things that we can do with the Palestinian Authority in terms of economic development, industry, infrastructures. There are a lot of things to do, and if you ask me what needs to do in the current 5 years, is to develop together the Palestinian Authority economy.
Do you see some leader from that side who can be partner for you in it? Because Palestinian Authority is something not very understandable. There are many parties, places, people. Maybe you have someone, let's say, person that you understand. He can be another side of, let's say, this effort to establish more sound economic position in Palestine and so on.
I don't like to interfere to different countries in their internal politics and leadership. Israel, by the way, tried to do it in the past in Lebanon, and we failed. And actually, everywhere, I think that if a different country trying to influence the leadership of another country, I think that they will fail, and I don't want that anyone will do it in Israel, so I'm not doing it to the Palestinian Authority. From my perspective, the leader of the Palestinian Authority is Abu Mazen. He is of course not open to that yet, but as I said, I don't know what will be in the future.
Okay, some other questions? Yep.
Hi, well, first of all, I would like to thank you for this interesting dialogue. I'm from Minsk.
For Minsk?
Yes, Belarus. Well, I've also lived in Ukraine, but I was born in Netanya.
You were born in Netanya?
Yeah. I moved to Ukraine when I was...
So come back.
Well, maybe. Why not? We'll come up to this. What I would like to ask is maybe a bit personal. How do you see yourself in 10 years? What is your politician career that you would like to see? Maybe some of your dreams or goals that you have for the close, let's say for the 10 years that are coming.
Okay, it's a good question. And I think the sky are the limits. If you will ask me, 2 years ago, if I will be the Minister of Justice so fast, I would say that I think that no, but it happened. And I think that as a women, we don't have a glass ceiling, and the sky is the limit. I don't want to say it right now, but as I said, it can be anything.
Okay. Some other, yep.
Hi, my name is Lena. I'm from Moscow. As you just said about the gender issue, about the ceiling, do you see any specific challenges you face as a woman in the Knesset? Is there something that you would say you faced that a man in the same position wouldn't face?
No, actually. No. In the last Knesset, I was the head of a committee that deals with a very delicate law of recruiting ultra-Orthodox to the army. I was the head of a committee also with ultra-Orthodox, with different Knesset members from different parties. In Israel, a woman can do anything. Anything, and actually, as I said, I personally never felt any problem. Even I think it's an advantage in some way. Okay. Today, by the way, even in the army become open to more and more professions to women. And as I said, for my career, I see it only as an advantage. By the way, in politics, I've noticed that women have less egos than men, and it is definitely an advantage.
Okay, maybe some last question. Oh, okay.
Not a question, more than a viewpoint. You, for us, the minister, set an example of what is Limmud, because you are a pioneering woman. You were in a different area, and you decided this is what you want to make from your life, to make a difference. And I want to thank Dr. Mariasis, Misha Litkin, and some others, the founder of Limmud, 11 years ago. They decided to make a difference. They decided to make it upside down. Instead of going imposing from the top down, they wanted to make the revolution, which till then was in Russia. Everything in the Jewish community was either you have money or you are a politician in the community. The revolution started that the young people wanted to make a difference from bringing the voluntarism into the community life in Russia. And who believed 11 years ago that this sample will bring over 2,000 participants every year here. And because of the sample of Moscow, we have now this in 13 cities in 10 countries around the world. Everybody wants to copy Moscow. everybody think about Dima and Misha and Pilagowski and Zhenya as a sample of making a difference. So you see him a real difference. So maybe Dima, you make Aliyah, you can be Prime Minister.
Skype has no limits, as Valerie said.
I want to say something personal. I have two kids, Uri and Shira, who is 12 years old, Shira is 9 years old, and I never left home at Shabbat. I've never worked or be at work in Shabbat. It's a rule for me. In Shishi Shabbat, I'm always at home. This is the first time that I'm doing this, and because I think that it's truly, truly important, again, to strengthen the Jewish community here in Russia, and maybe even to encourage the people to come to Israel. I think it's a strategic thing to the Jewish people and to the state of Israel. So this is why I decided to come.
Maybe one last question, yeah.
Nice to meet you here. I'm Michael, I'm from Israel, and I have a question about the government. If you and your colleagues in the government of Israel think a very important question about the union government.
I think the
what do you think you personally about it?
I think the current government is very good because it's more or less homogenic. And when the government is homogenic, it's a right-wing government, you can do more things, you can work better. I was in the previous government with Yesh Atid, and it was like Memshelet Achdut, and it was very hard to work. And nevertheless, if the Labour Party will want to join the government and the Prime Minister will set a deal with them with the same values and principles of the current government, we are okay with that. There is no problem. I never cancel any party except of course Balad and their friends, which they are not Zionists. But every Zionist party can be part of the government. We are definitely open to that, as long as the values and the line of this government stayed. I actually, personally, I don't think it is it makes sense and feasible in this stage, but in the future, maybe.
So, thank you everyone for coming and for your questions. Thank you for your time, and thank you for coming here. We really appreciate this opportunity to speak with you and to listen to your views, to the things that you share with us. It's very important for us to understand what's really going on, because now we look to the social media, to different people who speak in different things, but when there is a person who is really in the decision making in this country, which we from here look at and want to understand what's going on, to hear it like from the first hand, from the first word from you, it is very important for us to understand what's going on really. From the first mouth, and we hope it is not your first. It is your first time when you're here in Moscow and in Limmud, but maybe not the last. Maybe you'll come when you come next time to Moscow. Come in April, because it will be next Limmud, and we're going to see you here once again. So thank you very much.